Okay, are we recording?
She just heard you call me. Oh.
No, I said she's in between us. She's in between me and
You
Glenn.
said she's not young, so if you're not young, you're old.
She's not a kid.
Oh, no, if you're not.
She's a
young, you're
mama.
old.
If you're a mama, you are no longer a baby. Even if you're 12 years old with a baby. All right, so I'm sorry we're back to, we're getting started late as always. You guys should be used to that by now. And so I got the gavel. So, but we only have one troublemaker today, so we should be good.
It's not troublemaker, it's me!
Okay, so let's pray and we'll get started, guys. Lord God, goodness gracious, with everything that you've been doing lately, I'm just overwhelmed at your goodness. That's pretty common the last 2 years, though. So, I just praise you for your work on the cross, because that allows us to come to your throne boldly, and that is the biggest thing I would probably really, truly miss if I were ever to lose that work. You know, there's a question that always comes to mind: what if you lose everything that you didn't thank God for yesterday? And I think that that's what I would miss the most, is being able to come to you at any given moment to either praise or cry out or to love. So we praise you for that work, and I sure would miss my healing, going back to all of that chronic pain that I used to deal with. You rid us of all of that through that taking of your stripes. And Lord, I thank you for everything that you're doing through us, allowing us to be your hands and feet. You know, when I see these transformations and these ladies that you bring to us, it just renews my energy and my strength. It renews my perseverance, as I see you doing drastic things, and you're enabling us to be those instruments in your redeeming hands, and that is just such a humbling and beautiful experience, and I praise you for allowing us to be a part of that. So we praise you and we thank you for including us and actually being witnesses and being able to give a testimony of your great power and glory. So as we're here today, I pray that you are glorified. I pray that your will be done. I pray that your word goes out, and I pray that souls are changed. I pray that we never come together without a soul being touched. So Lord, we love you and we ask these things in your holy and powerful name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and knock out our chapter 2. I know that some of you are new, and so we have just started Paul David Tripp's Parenting 14 Gospel Principles, and we're just now getting to chapter 2. So we basically go through a chapter whenever we meet at our volunteer meetings, which is every other month, basically, pretty consistently. And so we're just taking our time, meandering through the book. I mean, because here's the thing that the Lord showed me whenever I was starting to go through this process, is that this isn't just relational topics and principles for parenting. It addresses every single possible relationship you could possibly have, whether it's with a co-laborer, whether it's with a spouse, whether it's with, just someone that you happen to meet on the road. It is so deeply profound. And so I just want everybody to be aware of it. And so this one is a little weighty. There's a lot of really good stuff in it, and so I'm not going to be doing much preaching or teaching today. I'm just going to be going over the really key aspects and just reading straight, so I don't have an opportunity to mess it up. How about that? All righty. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So let's go to chapter 2. I'll be starting on page 34. So, and I'll just be, doing little chunks of here and there. And so just stay with me. can leave it there. All right. So, like I said, I'm just gonna be reading. So let me say it now, because it'll be a theme that will be in some way in every chapter of this book. There is nothing more important to consistent, faithful, patient, loving, and effective life than to understand what God has given you, the grace in His Son, the Lord Jesus Christ. Understanding God's grace will change you. But as it changes you, it'll be the way that you relate to others, and, it'll just be the way that you relate to others. I've been having to make minor little changes here and there, just to be inclusive of all of the relationships, because it addresses everything. So most Christians have a fairly good understandings of past grace. That is the forgiveness that they have received because of the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. And they have had a decent grasp on future grace, the place that is in eternity that guaranteed them as a child of God. But the problem is that they've had little understanding of present grace. The right here, right now benefits of the work of Christ in all of us, between the already and the not yet. On the next page, if you read your Bible carefully, you'll understand that God doesn't call able people to do important things. Abraham wasn't able. Moses wasn't able. Gideon wasn't able. David wasn't able. And Jessica's not able either. The disciples weren't able. And the story goes on. The reason for this is that there are no able people out there. They just don't exist. God didn't create human beings to be independently able. He designed us to be dependent. None of us has the natural storehouse of wisdom, strength, patience, mercy, and perseverance that every person needs in order to do his job well. Independent ability, like independent righteousness, is a delusion. Did you hear that, Glenn? It's a delusion. So quit trying to be perfect. He's really bad about condemning himself every single time he makes a mistake. So I'm just like, there's no such thing as perfection. Quit trying it. Do what?
Only one.
Yep, that's right. Jesus was the only one, and that's why we follow him. So quit beating yourself up because you feel inadequate. You feel that way because it's true. Every single one of us are. And so, let me put it in a different way. God calls unable people to do important things so that he will get the glory and not us. That's why he chose me. Because then he gets all the glory because everybody knows it's not me. So, you see, he doesn't ask you to be able. He asks you to be willing. And if you're willing, he will meet you in your weakness and change you. And as he changes you, he will work good things through you into the hearts and the lives of the people around you. God never calls us to a task without giving us what we need to do it. God never sends you into anything without going with you. He never tells you to do something without giving you what you need to do it. This is the whole story of the Bible. This is why God sent his son to earth. There is only one hero in the Bible, and every other character is flawed in some way. God is the hero of every story in the Bible, and in fact, the Bible is not a collection of stories, but one big story with a lot of chapters. And it is the story of how God meets weak and failing people with the power of grace. So now, to him who is able. So Ephesians, the next slide, and we can keep it there. We can keep it parked on that for a bit. So now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than we ask or think, according to the power at work within us. To him be the glory in the church and in Jesus Christ throughout all generations, forever and ever. Amen. So here's the one redemptive reality right here, right now, that makes life possible. I love this so much. God in you. You don't really understand who you are or what you've been until you understand this amazing thing. That God knew that our calling would be so huge and our weakness so deep that the only thing that would help us was himself. So in an act of incredible grace, he has unbuttoned us and gotten inside of us. Now think about that. Whenever I first visualized that, I was just like, because that's because I am completely polar opposite of what I used to be, and that's how I imagine him actually making that happen. So this God who has the ability to do things that are way beyond our ability to conceive, who has perfect wisdom and unlimited strength, now lives inside of you. So self-righteous people find it all too easy to judge and condemn people who are not measuring up to the standard that they assess that they are keeping. So here's what God does in all of our lives. So he uses things like our marriages and our parenting and our ministries to expose our hearts to us. He used parenting to expose thoughts, attitudes, and desires in my heart that I had previously denied were there. It was my struggle with irritation, impatience, anger, and a lack of gentleness and joy that God used to show me how far I still fell beneath his standard and how much I still needed his forgiving and transforming grace. So instead of approaching others with self-righteous outrage, let's move toward them as a sinner in need of grace, needing to comfort a sinner in need of grace. And that just makes me think about so many, little micro conflicts that we've had along the way. And here's the thing is that if we truly see ourselves for the sinners that we are before we're calling other people out, that might change our hearts and our attitudes towards that person that will actually enable us to actually come alongside them and minister them in love and grace instead of, hey, you messed up. So God's grace rescues you from you. When you're frustrated, mad, discouraged, unkind, abusive, bitter, joyless, vengeful, or irritated, you don't so much need to be rescued from the people that are irritating you. You need to be rescued from you. So that was it. So I was trying to really break it down. So if you guys don't have this book yet, oh man, you gotta get it, especially if you've got kids. Because quite frankly, it has been one of the most profound books that I've actually gone through since then. So it's absolutely lovely. Okay, so Glenn, can you go ahead and go to the next slide?
Yes, we know.
Who's heard about this? Is she the only one? Can I see a show of hands who's heard? So this is the latest DV murder. There was another stabbing within a couple of days of this. And I haven't heard, whether she survived or not. But here's the thing is that we've got to remember that this is what we're here for. This is why we're doing this. It's not just for the social gatherings. It's not just for the fun and events and everything else. Because I have a blast doing this ministry. But at the same time, we've got to remember the why. And even beyond this, it's about getting these ladies that are actually suffering in these situations healed. Thus, the ministry being called Healing Through Him. We've got to remember that this is something that women all through the Panhandle are struggling with at 3 times a higher rate than anywhere else in the nation. When I heard that year before last, that made it very clear why God brought me up here against my will, love God, to Amarillo. swore that I would never come back to this town. But since I've come back, it's been blessing upon blessing, and I'm grateful for it. But here's the thing, is that this is why what we do is so important. I mean, because here's the thing, is that had she known about us, maybe she could have had an opportunity to get away.
Yeah.
She would have been enabled mentally and emotionally and spiritually to flee. Because that's the thing, is that so many of these women are mentally and emotionally so locked in that they don't see an escape. I didn't see an escape in mine. At one point, my only escape was suicide, as I had the gun to my head when he ran in and said, "Mommy, why are you crying?" Had he not ran in, I would have been gone. Because I knew that it was either him or me, and I didn't want him to have that satisfaction of taking my life. So, I just want to really remind everybody what the focus is, because it's not ourselves. It's not self-promotion. It's not any of these things. It's God and these ladies that are dying every few months here in Amarillo, Texas. 2 weeks before this happened, if you guys, is everybody on group me? I know you two aren't
No.
yet. Huh?
No.
You're not? Okay, we need to get you on there. So you can be aware of everything that's going on. Because here's the thing, is that, you know, we need to, one of the biggest things and the most powerful thing that we have at our fingertips is prayer. You know, we need to be praying for these ladies on a regular basis. We need to be praying not only for their physical safety, but the mental, emotional, and spiritual safety as well. I mean, because they are being wounded deeply, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and that's way beyond the physical. And so please be praying for her family. 2 weeks before this happened, I ended up having a volunteer come in to apply to join the team, and as she got her acceptance email, I know a lot of you guys have already read this, but I'm sharing this for those who haven't. She was notified of the volunteer meeting today. She said that she wouldn't be able to attend because she's cooking for this, for the funeral ceremony. And she's known her since she was born. She's best friends with her aunt. And so she's very much a part of the family and everything else. And so we need to be keeping these family members and covering their prayer, because they are broken. I mean, from all the stories that I heard, she was a very precious little girl that fell in love with the wrong guy. So now their son, who's barely over 1 year old, lost both of his parents, because now his dad's going to prison. So I just wanted to bring in that focus and really remind all of us where the focus is and why we do what we do. Next screen, please. So because of certain things that have happened, we needed to implement a probation period for new volunteers. Because just like the Bible says, what does light have to do with darkness? Don't do business with those who are unbelievers and all that good stuff. And so basically, we are needing to be sure that we are in one accord, and those that would do evil would not be allowed to stay. And the truth pretty well comes out within the first 3 months. And so we put in a 90-day probationary period, so we can rectify the situation quickly. So attendance. I'm about to go over the ministry's to-do list. So we actually sat down at our last leaders meeting and actually wrote down all of the things that we have to manage on a regular basis. And I wanted to share this list with you guys because I really want you guys to understand how desperately we need everybody on board, and if everybody could put in at least 10 hours a week, I'm sorry, not a week, but at least 10 hours a month we would be able to get so much done. And so I'm about to go over the list, and so just bear with me. But while I'm going through this list, start thinking about the things that you could actually help with in your spare time. I mean, because a lot of this stuff you can actually do at home whenever you're, watching TV or whatever else with your feet propped up, but we need help because, our center core is probably about maybe 10 people, and we can't get it all done. And so we need more people that are willing and able to put in, several hours, if at all possible. And so, workdays and events, we'll actually go over that. I think that's the next slide, if you'll go ahead and go on to the next.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the event calendar. Karen, can you go ahead and pass those out to everybody? So we just updated the event calendar because we've actually taken some things off because there are some months that are just inundated. And so we had to kind of pull back the reins on some months, and then we added a few things to a couple of other months just to kind of balance the scales a little bit. So as you go through there, so we've got, so we're in May, so we've got the Red Robin. We've got the Red Robin fundraiser coming up on the 19th, which is next Monday, right? Thinking about the calendar, is that equate properly? Okay, I'm not looking at it, so. But if you guys can be sure and actually share our posts that we're putting out about it, we also have the flyers that you can actually take with you to give to friends and family and whoever else. Because the more people we get out there, the more money will be raised. And so, because they're giving us 20% of everything that they make from people who actually say that they're there to support the ministry.
Quick question.
Yes.
Are we doing in-person like we did last year?
Yes, so we will have a table set up there on the GroupMe, on the events and, what's it, the tab?
Calendars.
Calendars and events tab, you have to go back, there's like different parts in the GroupMe. Click on that one and it'll have the event in there, and you can pick, there's 4 different shifts in there, and I think we have one that has absolutely nobody there, and we can't have a table unless somebody's there manning it, so we'll just be there. If anybody comes up, asks about the ministry, then we'll be able to tell them, and we'll have a donation jar there as well, so they can donate. We aren't technically allowed to ask that, like, say, when they come in to say they're there in support of the ministry, but they see us and walk up, and you can ask them if they wanna hear about the ministry, and then it'll maybe, like, why are they here today?
So I was wondering what the shirts were, so that explains that, I was like.
And if y'all need any car show or Red Robin flyers, I have some here. If you need to make more copies of the Red Robin, you can just scan it in and make more copies of this one.
All right, and then after that, we've got the car show. The car show is the next big thing. So, Angela, you got anything to say about that?
Yes, I do, actually.
You wanna come up here and talk?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, you'll give me a little break.
So with the car show, we have a lot of different areas that we need volunteers for. We have people to take tickets, a welcome team, the bouncy houses, we need people to man those, awards tables, RC track, barbecue team, we need servers for we're gonna do the beef tenderloin kebab lunch. We need people to go out and serve those to the people that are bringing cars out. Volunteers will also get the kebab lunch. We need people to man the kiddie zone, voting tables, we need people to set up and clean up. We need a merch table, we're gonna get some merch ordered, and we need somebody to do that. And then the silent auction team as well. I have a sign up list, I'm gonna pass it around, y'all can put where you wanna
Put it
volunteer
where
at.
you can.
And if it's full and you wanna volunteer there, you can still sign up for it. So yeah, we're gonna do the silent auction there, and then we'll have, so the RC track, I think your husband's building the RC track, so that's another way that you can get people to come out. They bring their own RC cars and race them around and have a good time with that. We'll have vendors out, so if you know anybody that wants to come be a vendor and donate, we're wanting to donate, if they're willing to donate a percentage to the ministry. All the food trucks that we're having come out are gonna donate a percentage of what they make to the ministry, so that can be. Are you still doing stuff like that? You know people, right? That do stuff, Kim?
People to.
You know, like vendors and stuff, don't you? You know all the Facebook things, so if you can share that too.
Yeah, if you can get, cause man, you're so good at So if you can,
Yes.
yeah, you are. You
You are.
shined like a star so many
Girl.
times with that. So, but if you can actually take the promos, actually calling all vendors and stuff like that, and get those out to all of the little things that you know, yeah. If you can get all that information to all of the Facebook groups, so we need all the vendors, we need all the cool cars. So, if you guys can actually research and join all the car clubs and get all that information, get these cars in, cause we don't have very many signed up, and we need this to be kind of a big deal, cause we're really we're still working on the branding aspect, you know, and getting the word out, letting everyone know what we're doing. And so,
So they can do that on the website, and then, even if y'all wanna take flyers and just give them to people.
she got you. She was getting the gavel, you guys are talking.
Sorry. But if y'all can take those and even just hand them out to people at the store, that way they can come and participate in it and just have a good time out there and support the ministry, learn about the ministry. Yeah,
And it wasn't even the troublemaker this time.
a lot of volunteer chairs.
Everything.
Yeah,
Hey.
it's
Oh,
the
that is
chair.
okay.
Say it again.
It's the chair that does it.
All right, so next slide. So everybody has the calendar events? Yeah, great. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, we can get rid of the time.
I was gonna try to do that.
So now I'm starting to go over all of the to-dos that we have to focus on a regular basis, and then you'll really start to see not only where you can plug in, but also why we need help. Because we are growing exponentially, we are getting more and more ladies brought to us, and it's, I mean, God's manning the gates, but at the same time, you know, He's showing us that there's gonna be some growth or continued growth, and then also on top of that, I'm sure you guys heard of the whole Doge thing and all the cuts and everything else. And so here's the thing, I don't know if you guys have heard, who's heard about the AmeriCorps cuts? Does anybody know what that means?
Nope.
So with the AmeriCorps cuts, there are tons of organizations that are focused on domestic violence that have had all their finances cut.
Oh, wow.
So Family Support Services has been touched, the domestic violence shelter here has been cut. I mean, so there's been major cuts, and so here's the thing, is that we're starting to get calls from them, hey, we're on a financial freeze, we can't help them, can you? So that only means that things are gonna get even busier than they already are, because they don't have any money. And so we need to really make a push to not only get the word out there so we can get more donors in to accommodate the flow that's coming our way, but to also get this village built, because that's the only thing that we can't give them is a roof over their head. We're having to partner with those that are now getting financial freezes, and that's not good, because if they have to shut down their facilities, they're screwed. And so we've gotta hustle. And this, all of this has just really just kind of put into perspective why God gave me such a sense of urgency. Do it now, when He gave me that vision. Now that we're seeing everything being shut down, that's why He said, do it now. And so we need all hands on deck. We need everybody to be hands-on. So we are starting to put out a newsletter. We've got the first one pretty well done. We're in the final stages of editing on that. And so that's something, you know, sharing stories, sharing, you know, what's going on within the ministry. You know, just taking pictures at all of our events. You know, there's so much that we can all do to contribute to get the information out, to not only show the fellowship, but also show what we're doing in these women's lives, to show how we're working and how they can get involved. The mail merge is a whole big process, because I think we've got over 800 people that we mail to now, you know, or am I thinking of Facebook followers? Okay, I don't remember exactly, but the mail merge thing was, I was surprised at how much it was. I can't remember what it was now. And so we've got to still continue to add to that list with the corporate sponsorships. We've got to start reaching out to corporations, you know, and then also with the AmeriCorps cuts and everything else, you know, just like two of the board members actually came to me, that's why you don't do government funding. But we're also preparing the packets for church partnerships. We're starting to reach out to all of the different churches, so we can actually partner with them. Yes, ma'am?
That's made me think I had to go grab this from Courtney.
And so this is also, so if you go to a church outside of this one, let's talk to your church. Let's connect with them. You know, I mean, because basically the thing is that the more churches we have involved, the stronger the church family is. Amen? And so, and then also we are sending out thank you cards on a regular basis for all the donations, so we need help with that. And then also the whole process of printing receipts, because Peggy and I and Courtney make a lot of purchases for these ladies. And so making sure that we've got all the receipts and everything else processed and organized and everything else, you know, for the accountant and there's a lot of work there. So, next.
I have a question. For
Yeah.
the thank you cards, can I get some so I can send them to people that are donating?
Yeah,
to the silent auction?
Absolutely.
And if anybody knows anybody that would donate to the silent auction, if you'll ask, and I have receipts and paperwork that you can fill out as well, you'll get those.
What are you
I
looking for
have
the
the-
silent auction?
Gift cards, massages, just anything.
Angela? I have the packets.
Okay, Karen's got them if you need them.
And then also when it comes to the thank you cards, so if you have time for making the thank you cards yourself, that's great. But another thing that you could do is just send your list to Courtney, and the team that is working on that with her can do
Yeah.
that. So, because I know that you've got a lot on your plate and you're actually tackling a lot for the ministry.
Yeah.
So that's another option for you if that works too.
Are you able to send a list of who's donated already for the silent
Yes.
auction?
And what they
Just
already donated?
So,
Yes. Right now, all I've
Double it, cover.
gotten for this is the Trix Harley's donated so far, so that's all I've gotten. I have some stuff left over from the gala last year, but that's all that I've gotten.
Are you gonna put that party jacket in?
Yes.
Yeah, it's for the first show.
I'll send them
Like,
a group,
everyone.
I'll send them
They're gonna
who
do
I've
stuff
reached
like
out to,
that,
'cause there's a couple of places I've
like
reached out to, but haven't heard back from them, so I'll put those in there.
So the silent auction that you're talking about, I heard that you're looking for the gala.
For the car show.
For
And
the
then
car
we'll
show,
carry
yes,
that,
ma'am.
we'll carry
I know we're
whatever's
not
left
at the
over
gala
from
yet,
that
but
into the gala for the live auction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So the things that didn't go last year will just be
yeah.
So every Tuesday, the benevolence group meets at 10 o'clock in the morning. And so one thing that we absolutely need is support volunteers that are able to actually deliver necessary items to the ladies that we serve. And so sometimes it's just, you know, taking the clothes over to them. Soon, we will have the clothing closet back up and shoppable. So we can actually just take the ladies out to the clothing closet and let them shop instead of actually choosing the clothes and taking it out to them. So that'll simplify a lot there. But a lot of these ladies don't have cards because you know how they get financially stripped of everything, you know, when they're trying to get safe and everything else. And so,
Part of that, can we talk about how, on donations, that's me.
Yeah.
And I call Jessica when I'm in a pinch, and I call Dana when I'm in a pinch. So, if anybody has free time, I'm going to start putting our donation pickups. Like, and when I say donation pickups, I'm not talking about clothes and stuff, I'm talking like furniture. So if you can pull a trailer, if you have a truck, and if you can pick up furniture, then please, I'll have Angela either help me or Courtney help me make a thing in the app where you guys can specifically say, and for the most part, those are on Saturdays.
we always try to schedule them for Saturdays because
And I will let you know at least 2 weeks out that we have a pickup coming, because I try to schedule it out. Because right now, we're catching up, because we're so far behind.
Right.
So, but that's another thing with the benevolence team is we need people that can do manual labor.
We normally go to help, but I haven't seen anything in the group.
Well, it's because I haven't put anything in, it's just because we've been behind because of the weather and,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
The rain is really.
But, next Saturday, we're doing Diane Pin, because the situation with her mom finally worked its way out, whatever happened with her mom. So I'm putting that in the group chat. I forgot how to do it, so I don't know how to do it. So I gotta
Oh,
put it.
making the events?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I gotta, but Diane Penn, is next week at 11 a.m. And we're meeting out in Bushland. I mean, if anybody wants to help out with that besides me and Dana and Brian and Virginia, because since Jessica's gonna be out of town, we can meet up at church at 10:30 and head out.
And I'm typically always going to those because I'm the only one that has a trailer to pull, as of right now.
I have the address, but we can meet here and we can just go out.
So, but,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I just don't know, I'll give them Diane's.
So, but basically the thing is that, you know, if you guys have guys in your life that are big and burly and can handle, picking up the furniture and all of that other kind of stuff, that would be great. Because we need more guys on the team, just because there's a lot of furniture moving that we do. I mean, because whenever these ladies actually get moved into a new place, we fill their place with furniture so they can hit the ground running with their new life. And so we need bigger, cause look around you. Yeah, we're tough girls, but we get tired.
Yeah.
We get sore and these guys can do a lot more. God made them bigger, stronger, faster, so. Yeah.
Even on that note too, there's a lot, even in the clothing, for some reason, there's a lot of people that like to put
Overstuffed
clothes
those.
in these huge industrial
bags.
black trash bags.
Huge.
And they
Large.
take even like the two of us having to pick up these bags, they're extremely heavy, and we have, behind one of the storage, one of the storage units that we have is completely full from top to bottom.
Front to back.
Front to back,
It's
it
crazy.
is,
We have
there's,
been
and it
blessed
is
with donations.
full,
But we
of
need
all of
arms
these
and
black
people that can help
bags.
move stuff, because it's heavy
And
stuff.
they are really, we really are worn out.
So we've got one more hour, ladies, and we've got to end on time, so we've gotta keep tracking. Cause, self-defense class starts at 4. And so we need people to drive ladies around. So not Courtney, Karen, you're kinda, you become one.
Yeah.
So with the career planning and sustainability, Jovel is just starting to learn the process of how to take these ladies through all this. And so, but, there's always room for. I was about to say, I thought you were really Karen.
But then you still need to do
No,
the
you're
reels.
reading this.
She gets you more than one thing, are you kidding me? The reels and stuff she can do while she's relaxing on the couch watching TV.
Right, she doesn't pay attention to that
So I'm
kind
not
of
taking her away from you.
Yeah.
All right, next slide, please. And so, and then the donations, just like we were talking about, we have the inventory work day out at the property, first Saturday of every month. And when we're out there, we're just going through all the clothing, sorting them by size and season. And then we've got to actually go through the process of getting everything washed. And so we've partnered with Laundry Love, and so I really praise God for that organization, because we don't have washers and dryers yet. We haven't built out that far. And so, and then also, we need help with the delivery and pickup of donations, just like we already said. Next. Thank you for helping with this, by the way. And so here's another aspect, that this is something that all of us can do, every single one of us. So fundraising and special events, so when it comes to like the staffing events and stuff like that, there's resource fairs that we just go out, we set up a table, and we are sharing, what's available with this ministry to all the ladies that are actually seeking help. It also lets all the other organizations know who and what we are and what we're doing, and it actually opens up doors for partnership, so we can actually get all these ladies help that they need if we can't supply it. And when it comes to the tickets tables, we're always setting up tables to let everybody know what the next event is. Just like, she's rented a table here the 18th, the day before the Red Robin affair, just to get everybody the little sheets and everything.
I'm gonna make a sign up for that too, I forgot, thank you.
Okay.
We'll have the table set out here to hand out the fundraiser flyers, so y'all can sign up for that.
And so, there's all sorts of little things that we're doing like that. And then also, just like today, that was you that found the car show today, right?
Yeah.
And so she just ran by a car show, noticed it, and said, hey, can anybody go send out flyers for the car show? You know, I mean, because that's where your car people are, right? So if we see a car show, we need to get some people there with flyers to let all of the car guys know that there's another place to show their cars. You know, and so there's all sorts of little things that we can do to really help out the ministry. And also in this process of doing that, who knows what donor we might get on board in that process. And that's what we need. We need donors coming forward, I mean, because we've got a $500,000 build-out budget that we've got to meet to get this thing done. So we got to get hoofing. Gathering donations, that's kind of part of everything else. There's lots of administrative work, promotional, distribution, and street marketing. That was pretty well all included with everything that just came out of my mouth. Next. Grants, data tracking, researching, and organizer. And so there's been big rain pulling on the grant thing. For some reason, the Lord has said, no, 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 not yet. So he keeps on putting brakes on it. And I don't know why, but we're going to be obedient. And we're gonna do what he wants us to do.
I had a question, do we still need to be tracking all of our time?
We still do, because when and if the Lord says yes, we need to be ready and
So are we
prepared.
still using the Addo?
No, I shut that down because,
It's not, yeah.
no, we got a good feel of what our averages are. And so, but basically when it comes to the core group that's constantly working, we were able to get a really good average and a really good idea of what we normally work. So basically we put it on a salary type thing. Well, of course, there's no money going through because there's no one on salary. There's not a single person that makes a single dollar on this ministry. And so, but with that, that gave us the information that we needed. And so when it comes to all of the events, you know, if we can just have everybody do a sign-in sheet, just like you're tracking that today, right?
Yes, there's
So,
sign sheets,
yeah.
We can email them, I'll have Courtney send them out if you need the sign sheets for events and
So
things.
do we need to still fill out last week?
Yeah, and I don't think I have the time sheets with me, I think so, I got
I
all
have
Courtney
the
sent
time
them,
sheet, but-
so.
You got all Courtney stuff and all your stuff.
Yeah,
I
no,
know
I
that
thought.
goes. I
So,
know.
anyhow.
I feel you.
Normally, I carry.
Do you have a time sheet on your
Time
computer?
sheets with me.
Can I grab one?
Who needs a time sheet? We'll be on the time sheet, everybody to do it.
So, but anyway, so back to this, so we can keep on track. So there's a lot of data tracking that we could use help with. There's a lot of research that, you know, if you love being online and just researching things and just learning about different organizations and different things that are available, we've got a whole list of things that we are still trying to research, when it comes to different,
Everything.
just everything, there's so much, I mean, so I'm not even gonna try for the sake of time to really go down that list, but if you're loving or if you love researching, please let us know that, because then we've got all sorts of stuff for you to research. And then organize there and everything else, I mean, because with the clothing closet, with all the donations that we've got out the property, there's tons of organization that we need. Yes.
Just one thing really quickly on the time sheets. One of the things that's going on with the time sheets is that when we write grants, and when we actually talk to donors and people like that, sometimes you're gonna get the question, how many hours do you think people are putting into this thing? We need to have answers to those questions. So
Did everybody hear that?
every bit of data we can track, we're tracking, okay? It's really important. We get one of these every month. So, so anyway, but that's really important that we get all this data in as fast as we can to get in because we're building a system, starting a new one, actually start tracking this stuff, so.
So
And
when
if
it-
we do, well, I was gonna say, and if we do the, what and that if we do, we are also registered with the RSVP program, which is retired senior volunteer program. And basically, anybody 55 plus can be over that, and it also comes with benefits to the ministry and the individuals as well. For example, if Peggy and I are out working together, the property, one of us falls down and gets hurt, and our insurance doesn't cover everything, they have insurance that kicks in to cover that. But it's for 55 plus, if you're really interested in that, please let me know. And also, it's a source of more volunteers, is what we're really looking for with RSVP, is more volunteers.
Okay, so next is the publicity, I mean, because that is a huge key factor that we could actually use to not only bring awareness, also to bring donors and to fundraise. And so if you love making reels, if you love all the, you've already got that job, so you're stuck like Chuck, girl. So,
You're already there, Jumbo.
so, you know, if you love doing social media pages and all this stuff, we could use your help. I mean, because we can't because Courtney's been helping with the promos. Jovel's been helping with the reels, and, you know, and then Glenn and I are always throwing stuff together in our spare time, whatever that is, as much as we can, huh?
What is that?
Yeah, exactly, that's what I said. Next. So, we've got a shipping container out at the property that has all of the ministry goodies, all of the decor, all of the setup, everything else that we use for the gala, for the parades, for, you know, everything. We need someone to go in and, organize it, label it, all that good stuff, and to manage it. And, yeah, in your spare time?
I was just trying to think where I was gonna have time to do that.
Outside your 40 hours a week that you work on top of all the, so whoever, I don't care who does it, as long as it gets done.
Virginia just said she volunteers for that. She said, I'll do it.
Then come on out, let's get to work, let's go, let's get it done.
Virginia said she'd help you with that.
Yeah.
Virginia and Jovel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do inventory a lot.
We can do it
Yeah.
for
Take her with
as
you.
well.
No, that's what I'm doing.
That's
Two-
perfect.
Too tall, too wide on wheels,
Awesome.
so we can take
We
it,
can
and just
use
roll
it
it in a
there.
trailer and take it to the gala or wherever.
Yay.
Oh, Brian, I love how your brain is working.
Yay!
Woo-hoo!
That's amazing.
Yeah, I've got
Months.
gathering stuff.
Great.
We got things there.
You guys are
Right.
awesome,
Yeah.
always.
Amazing.
Hey, I love that you do all that in your spare time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
What spare time?
What is that?
There was air quotations.
So, it's up for grabs, if you wanna take it. So, next slide. All right, so clothing closet. So Dana has been heading that up lately, and so she and Brian has built all of the, it's coming along, it's starting to look really good, guys. So, the things that we need help with, inventory management, so we regularly sort, fold, and organize the clothing according to the size and season and type. We discard and donate the excess or damaged or out of season stuff, like if stuff has stains, because here's the thing, is that we're really wanting to drive home the fact that these ladies are more precious than rubies, that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that they are worthy and loved and valuable. If we're giving them a bunch of trash, they're not gonna receive that message. And so we're wanting to give them the highest quality stuff, and I have been so blessed by the percentage of products that we've actually received that still have the tags on them.
Brand new.
That is such a blessing,
And nice-
brand new stuff on a
Yeah.
regular basis.
And even the stuff that it doesn't have tags that are really nice
It's well taken
donations.
care of.
I'm
I like
very
the furniture
impressed.
stuff, like, it's all top of the notch stuff that we get.
We've been so blessed. God is really behind us and driving home that message that they are valuable and worthy. And then we also need to keep track of stock levels and identify the gaps or needs that's in the actual clothing closet. And so we need to be able to kind of keep track of what we actually need, what's missing in the clothing closet, so we can get it from the property and fill those voids. Next slide, please. So, donation coordination, accept, screen, and process clothing donations, that's kind of a repeat, just verbalized differently. So communicate accepted donation types and, drop-off procedures to the public, and so, you know, basically, we're always looking for anything and everything, because a lot of these women come out of these situations with simply the clothes on their back and that's it, like Lynn and I did. And so, if you can use it, they can use it, is what I'm always telling people. The only thing that we can't take that are used is undies, bras, and socks,
And mattresses.
and mattresses.
No pillows, we can
No,
wash.
pillows can be washed in a washer. Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, we just
We've
had
been
that
through
conversation.
So anything that can actually fit in a washer and a dryer, we'll take it. If it can't fit in a washer and a dryer, no. But things that, you know, cover the privates, we don't want to take that, we want that to be new. Next page. Oh, sorry. So thank you notes, so, well, that's already been covered. Next page. So here's, so assisting individuals or families in selecting appropriate clothing. So, that's one thing that Stephanie has talked about helping the ladies with, once we actually get the clothing closet to where, you know, they can actually go and shop, is, you know, we need people to actually be available to, you know, help them piece garments or wardrobes together. You know, cause I always like to send everybody with 2 weeks worth of clothes, you know, interview and, church clothes, and then regular casual wear as well, so, cause they need to be able to dress up and they need to be able to, you know, relax at home too.
And to interchange.
Yeah, and then
different pieces.
if we can make it to where, you know, all of that's interchangeable, just to kind of add some variety, that's great. And then, you know, with the hairdressing, you know, we wanna be able to give these ladies complete makeovers, you know, new hair and, you know, learning how to put, you know, makeup on and everything else, and so we wanna give them a fresh look to go along with that beautiful healing that's happening inside. And, set guidelines, and so, and then basically, so that just goes to the 2 weeks of clothing that we're trying to fulfill. And then we always just wanna take those opportunities when we're working with these ladies to really just love on them and to really just drive home the fact that they are worthy and valuable and that they are lovable. You know, because that's one thing that a lot of these women come out of these situations understanding is, or believing, is that they're not lovable, and that's why they haven't been loved. So, I keep on losing my,
I know, your people are really bad.
Glenn, you're fired. So we need people to recruit, train, schedule volunteers to help with sorting. You know, then it's just kind of starting to, start that process. You know, every single one of us can recruit other people, say, hey, come on board, we need help. You know, we've got friends and family that we know, you know, and with the load that we've got coming our way, we're gonna need the extra help.
So if we have a group of people that, may wanna volunteer, we have to get them all.
Gotta have to be there.
Simple, and does it make sense why? I mean, because here's,
Yeah, I understand that.
yeah, and so, but basically with the delicate nature of the ladies' mental and emotional well-being, you know, it doesn't take much to break them on top of the breaking that they're already at. And so we need to be really careful that, we're being very watchful over who we allow in.
Okay, if you'll give me some sheets or something, because our Bible group on Saturday mornings are willing to.
Karen has a whole packet, and, so you just tell her how many you need. So, but let's be sure and take care of, these, did you guys already get your stuff?
Yeah, they've got theirs.
Okay, great. So yeah, you guys get together, okay? Okay, next one.
She needs the handbook though.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so outreach and communication, we need to promote the clothing closet to the community and church members. So if you guys go to another church, fill them in. Let them know what all we're doing and what all we need. And then we're already coordinating with a lot of the other shelters and schools and everything. So next slide, please. And then just also just helping to maintain, keeping it clean, keeping it organized, and keeping it safe. You know, because we've got to keep in mind all the OSHA standards, especially since we're bringing outside people into the clothing closet. We've got to make sure that there's no tripping hazards and all of that other kind of stuff, right? And so, and then we've got to keep everything, you know, with proper signage and all that good stuff. Next slide, please. I'm trying to blow through this as quick as possible, guys. So administrative tax. So we've got to maintain all sorts of records of donations and the distributions. So every single time that we send a package to the ladies, we've got forms for that. So, you know, if it wasn't for, Karen and Courtney, we wouldn't have all these forms to have to fill out. No, they're keeping us legal.
They
Keeping
call us the A-team.
Thanks a
I just got to
lot,
tease
Grandma.
because you're saving our money, keeping us all covered.
That's it, that's it.
And then we've gotta, do all the reports that get to us so we can process them and respond
There's not
accordingly.
a lot in there.
Next slide, please. Okay, so now, when it comes to, you know, we would love for everybody to be able to put in a couple of hours a month at the clothing closet, because if we actually had some extra help, just even if it was just 2 hours, that would be a tremendous help in us being able to get everything done. So when it comes to the days of the week, we picked 2 days so far, Mondays and Saturdays. So by a show of hands, can I see how many people would be available Monday?
What time?
We can work around whatever time.
Okay, can I get back to you? My schedule's hectic.
So 1, 2, 3, all the hands went down right when I started counting.
Just tell me.
So was your hand up, Kim?
Mine's
So
up.
Monday's not good? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Can you do
7.
Monday with the
Okay,
dropping
so that's
Luca
7,
at
so,
school?
and who would be available Saturday?
Okay, I can go work around my pickups.
We'll have to look around the morning.
Okay, so it looks like Saturday's a win. So, when it comes to the big calendar, we'll go ahead and pick out one day to do clothing closet on a Saturday, so we can get more hands in there. Yes,
I hadn't thought about that. So since
and we can actually do 2 dates, so, and we can just stagger the shift, so if you can't make it on one Saturday, you've got an opportunity for another Saturday. Does that sound like a good deal?
And then the
I can go let him in on if you can't.
Well, I was thinking like, what if, like, doing that, but also, since we do every second, Saturday, every other month here for our meeting, people, we can just book the second Saturday every month for the closing, every other month for the closing call, opposite of the meetings. That way, we're not overwhelming them with the property and closing closet every
Yeah.
month.
I'm flexible, we just need more hands.
What do you think, Dana?
No, I think
This
that's
is
a
yours,
great
I'm
idea.
just throwing it out there.
Yeah, and
That way we
I'll
can,
have
like-
to start setting, maybe doing reminders, sending reminders out, but I'll need numbers, so I can send that stuff out.
Do we have a sign-up sheet?
I do not, because I didn't know that.
Well,
So when I
Well, we're just trying to figure it out, so we'll get it all.
However,
Guys,
we
I
still-
just nagged him into, sign-up sheets recently, so.
Yeah, and we still can do anything, like during the week, I work odd hours too, but I work all kinds of hours during the week at the clothing closet, so if there's anybody that say, hey, I've got a couple of hours on a day, will that work? Let me know,
Yep.
and I can get my number out to,
Great.
we'll work that
Great.
too.
All right, so car show. Next slide, please. So, we've only got 4 cars registered.
That's it?
We need peoples, we need cars. We're trying to get our scamp fixed real quick, the carburetors acting crazy, so we need to get ours, so we can get ours in there. So we lowered the fee, we've got
How much is the fee?
$20. And what are the food trucks that are there?
Envy Donut, or Donut Envy, I can't remember which way it was, and then Kona Ice and Gibby's.
Okay, and so we're gonna have the RC track, so I'm anxiously awaiting the plans on that, since we just settled on that. Also, t-shirts, we are trying to get the t-shirt design in real quick, so if you're an artist, throw in some designs,
Throw in
cause
some
Glenn's
designs.
the only one that's working on the design so far, the one that he's working on right now, I really like, but let's see if there's someone out here that can throw his idea out of the water.
And she's biased too. I get the advantage.
Challenge.
Look, you have to go against Jovo and Lynn, Virginia.
Challenge.
Come on in, girl.
Hi.
All
How
right.
are you?
Hello there.
Good, how are you? I'm
I
good.
got one.
I'm glad you made it.
I know you're
You
gonna.
better hustle,
Alright, bet.
you better hustle, get it in.
Bet.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, cause I've gotta send that in the next week, cause otherwise we won't have shirts in time.
Yesterday?
Yeah, exactly. So, so we're gonna need people, we need things for the silent auction. And then also, what are the awards, what are the classifications?
So
Loudest
we have
engine.
Best in show, best in, or best, oh.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one that can't remember.
Oh, at that car show that they had buckets on each car, and people would buy the tickets, that was the only way they were making money off that car show, so we don't need to do that, but they had buckets with lids on them on each car, and they were sticking them in there. I don't know if we wanna do that, or do the, at the end with
Like
pictures.
like
Like people.
Like you vote on your best car.
Like vote on it, like for the people's choice.
Like you can
go buy the tickets for $1 they were doing or something like that, and then you just go to whatever car you thought and you stick the ticket in there.
It's like the trunk or treat here, you just vote on which one you think
Well,
is the best.
Yeah.
this one had it on, like, on the actual cart, or we can do it with, at the end, like we did this.
I like the on the car idea.
You know how I roll. It's your baby. You do what you want to, honey. Because I suffer from decision fatigue, so.
Just give me an
So if that's something that you can make a decision on, have at it. So, smoking team. So the only people that I know of is Brian and my hubby that are smoking all the meat for the car show. So if there's any other meat smokers, step on up. Next slide, please. Ha ha ha. That was so fun last year.
Hey!
So fun.
Is it in October or September?
Yeah, exactly. So I just paid, so it's a done deal, it's decided. I just paid for the Grand Plaza. That is a beautiful room. Who all seen it? I never even knew it existed. I never even knew it was here. That was like the coolest room out of everything that I've ever seen here in Amarillo. I was like, well, I didn't know Amarillo had anything like that. I keep on undercutting Amarillo. I need to stop already. Because it's just, it seemed to have everything that Houston had, so. All right, next slide, please.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the invitation so far. I know it's got a few things that need to be edited.
That's so pretty.
So, but I would love to see if someone can actually put a few rubies through there.
On the
Since
ground?
she is more precious than rubies, so I was just asking him, hey, can you figure out how to colorize some of those diamonds and to make them red?
You could just
So play with that. So get with Courtney on that, so she can pass that along, and so.
I couldn't figure it out, so it's on you people.
Okay.
That's hard to.
All right, so next slide, please, and we have a guest speaker this year.
We got him, he said yes? He said yes?
Yeah.
Yes, he's so amazing.
So we actually changed the date.
Did he get the date changed?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh,
So that's what I'm telling you. When
I
I'm
love that he said
So
yes.
yes, so we just changed the date when we were actually up there paying for the room. So instead of September 27th, we moved it to October 24th, so.
My birthday, y'all.
Already.
We're gonna have a gala for me on my birthday.
But that would be 3 days after we actually turn 3, which enables us to legally have a live auction instead of a silent auction, which will triple the amount of
We're gonna be
donations
three.
that we can actually.
We're gonna be three days after that.
No, 3 days before.
We can get the truck.
Yes.
Yes!
It's
Oh,
on
we
my
can get the
radar.
truck.
Girl. It's on my radar. And so there's a lot of things that we've been waiting for our 3rd birthday on. We'll get a box truck first off, because we have to be 3 years old to receive a box truck.
Oh, I get to be the first call when we get it, right?
You go, absolutely.
Can I get your phone number?
Oh, I don't.
Okay, who's Andrew Campbell? I think it's-
So Andrew, do your job. So Andrew Campbell is not only a public speaker about domestic violence, but he's also a survivor.
He shared his testimony. He was so amazing in that class.
So, Lynn, next slide, please. Oh, and he's also an author. So he writes, I think he's got 4 books out, all pertaining to domestic violence.
He talked about it at his class that we went
And
to.
he actually goes across the country speaking about domestic violence and advocating for women that are stuck.
That makes me so happy because he said, I don't know. And I was like, just please check your calendar.
And so, but here's the thing is that everything that we're doing is exactly what he's always speaking that we need help with. And so, Not Without My Pet is one of the books, and it helps people understand the relationship between domestic violence and their pets.
Yes.
And so we're really excited to have him. He's also a man of faith. It's his faith that really has driven him to do what he's doing. And also, I mean, he's very willing to minimize his price for us if we don't make enough. So he's just like, I just want to support what you guys are doing. I love what you guys are doing because I don't get to see this done. I don't get to see this. It's always just the government doing the bare minimum. I haven't seen God actually do something like this, and he was like, I
love what you guys are doing.
Oh, yeah, he was so excited when I gave him our information. I was like, you have to call Jessica, you have to call her.
Yeah, so we've been chatting it up a little bit lately, so. You what? Oh, you found the awards? Let's go over
Oh,
real
So
quick.
for the car show, the awards are Best in Show, People's Choice, Best Paint, Best Interior, Best Engine, Best Audio System, Loudest Exhaust, Coolest Car Club, and that'll be,
Angela, can you just put that in the group chat?
yes.
Yes, please.
You went too fast for me. Just put it in the group chat.
So we'll look at that, because we've got 40 minutes left, so we've got to get a move on.
Next.
Okay, Glenn, next slide. Can you get off my phone, bro? So you can focus.
I was getting,
You were getting what?
just showing Joel.
Okay. You're good. All right, so the theme, we decided, we were so excited about when Laura gave it to us, is more precious than rubies.
I did.
How do you go? Maybe.
Exactly. This is awesome. So the things that need to be worked on, teams that need to be assembled, is the floral team, the main design team, the welcome table, the setup and tear down, table decorating, a guest speaker team. Andrew needs to be spoiled. And the gala entertainment, so
We have
we
the sign
are
sheet?
looking for music. I want it to be worship centered. I'm gonna talk to John.
Oh, that's what I was gonna suggest.
And why would you even think that that would even be an option?
Okay, thank you, Jesus.
No, I don't think you understand what I said.
Oh.
You
You
getting
have to.
out of it. I'm saying you not singing is not an option.
Joel,
make
you
me
have to
cry,
have your
Joel. You
voice.
have to sing.
Yes.
Joel, don't be scared, you have a beautiful voice.
Did she sing at the Jesus journey?
Yeah,
Who?
Elena, that's it.
Elena and her sister, her dad, yeah.
Yeah, the.
So have you guys heard, John and Betta's music that they make on their
Yes.
That's what I'm wanting, but I need them to do it in English, so I'm gonna ask John, I was like, is 6 months long enough for Betta to learn it in English? Just 3 or 4 songs, that's all I'm asking, 3 or 4 songs in English. I mean, because
Her songs are so beautiful.
I know their music is
Gorgeous.
gorgeous. What?
You have to talk to John now. So
I know, I know, I'm planning on talking to him, cause I always see him during the week when I'm counseling. All right, next slide, please. Oh, it's your turn, Peggy.
Wait, I do have I have one question. Do we have the sign-up sheet for the gala yet?
We don't, no.
For the what?
For the gala,
We don't have it yet.
for the teams?
No.
No.
Nay, nay.
We just let you think you gotta get ready to sign up, and Courtney is working on those.
To leave us.
Cause I know 3 of those things I will do.
Okay.
So the gala.
Never mind, we'll get it out there.
I already know what they are. The same things I did last year. Well, minus 1. Cause I don't wanna do that one.
Okay, well, let's see if I can keep up with Jessica. Man, it's
Do what?
a lot.
I know, that's why I'm just kinda winded, that's why I was like, yeah, that.
I can do this.
That's right. Keep them in line.
That girl can
Peggy.
talk. She has a lot to say. All right, well, that's me.
Yeah, yes.
I am over the benevolence department, which is the furniture, the clothing, all the needs that the women have. That's what I take care of. I kind of organize that and find resources when they need it. So just a little bit, teensy weensy bit of that. Okay, let me go ahead and start the
Next
show,
slide.
boy.
Next slide.
And there's our benevolence.
Next slide.
Go. Okay, I'm just gonna give you a very few facts, because Jessica's giving you.
Hey, Vanya.
So,
You're fine. I think there's an empty chair right back there.
just since January this year, go for it, Glenn. We have served 13 moms.
And that's not including everyone that we've served,
That's
it's
not
just those
everybody.
who have received tangible items.
Yeah, these are just, the 13 women and their families that have come in, and, just, anyway, go ahead, go
Next
this
slide.
slide. And we have served 22 children. So we serve moms and children. Thank you.
That's awesome.
And several pets, she forgot about
The
the
pets.
pets.
I'm sorry, I didn't know there were many pets.
Two cats for sure.
For sure.
There are 23
cats for sure.
cats right there, not 22.
Well, I could
Next slide.
have decided just to leave an extra child because we're gonna serve them. Next slide, please. We provide many things. I wanna give you an idea of just a few provisions that we offer. Go ahead and go here. These items, furniture, housing, we help them find a safe place to go if they need an emergency. If they don't have an emergency, the family that helps sometimes, or friends. But we will help them find a place to be safe immediately. And then we will try to help them get into permanent housing. We offer them furniture, clothing, food, everything is on a donation basis that we provide for them. Go ahead, Glenn. And it's called.
I love that.
See, it's much better than the other one, huh?
I still like Jessica's closet.
I didn't like it at all.
I know, but I like that because it points to Christ.
Yeah,
I love that.
This is exactly
Because it's not about me, it's about
personal.
him.
It's God providing things.
I love that.
for
That's
us
awesome.
Through us and our donations, because without God's help, none of this would happen anyway.
Amen.
Okay, go there, so I like that. That's good. Okay, these are a few of our furniture
I
items.
have a
that
picture of it.
Jennifer so gladly went out and took pictures of the Connex,
You can give thanks to Glenn and Virginia for those pictures.
thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. We appreciate it. I know it's kind of hard to tell what's in there, but believe me, we have containers as long as this room full of
40
furniture.
footers.
And so, we provide them things that they need, of their basic needs, anything that they need. If we have it, we would gladly give it to them. We make sure it's in good shape to go, it's clean, and it's good stuff. It's not just stuff we've thrown in there because they need something. Okay. This is our clothing closet. Look at
Oh,
it.
it's beautiful.
A huge
Welcome to Chile.
closet. Isn't that pretty? This is a shelf unit, a rack unit that Brian built, and it has place back here for shirts and pants to hang and dresses to hang. Look at all those shoes up there.
Yes.
Those were all
We have
donated.
gotten all
new.
new shoes.
Those are brand new shoes
And then
up
we
there.
have shoes here, and we have all kinds of shoes. This is not totally organized yet, but we're
It's
getting
not
there.
done.
That's why we need your help.
That's why we need help.
Okay, you go. That's one of them. This is
Oh,
the children's.
That's the thing, I don't think everybody knows that we just got a third unit.
No,
Did everybody know that? So
I
yeah,
didn't
they
know
just
that.
gifted us a third unit now.
I had it.
And so now we'll have one just for the women, just for the kids, and then for the housewares.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And they said if we need any more, she told me to holler at her.
And
so
these
the
are-
manager
And we
of
might
the,
take her up on that with the housewares, so we can put like bedding and dressers
No, we're
and stuff, and then other
so
stuff.
the manager of that, storage unit place is a survivor herself, so
Megan,
she is
yes.
completely on board
Yes,
with
she-
what we're doing.
She's wonderful.
She's awesome.
And these are donated.
Yeah, so there's no fees
We're not
included with
having
these
to pay
rentals.
money for these. Thank
So,
you, God.
God is
Thank you,
providing.
God. On this one here, this is right next to the women's one, we're gonna build another unit right here for the children's clothes, Brian. And this is all children's clothes, they're not organized yet or put in place yet, but we have lots of children's clothes that we'll be organizing. And Dana has wonderful ideas on how to design these and make them look really nice. So when the ladies come in, we'll have a dresser in each one of those full of all of the intimates and things that we usually keep in our dresser drawers.
And then there's also a big dollhouse that we've moved in
Yeah,
there for the
we did
kids to
get-
actually
Thank you
play
for that,
around,
Angela.
shopping, stuff like that,
Yeah, and I
so.
wanted to get a
It's
picture of that, but I didn't get a picture of that, so.
Angela,
but
the
it's
dollhouse
really
came from
neat.
her.
Yeah, it's really neat.
But you have the picture of her.
Oh, do I have the picture of her? I didn't see you. I sent you a
Okay, this
picture.
is out at the property, this is one of the storage units I was telling you about. And it, I haven't built a thing, but Brian, Lindy,
Brian and Dave helped.
and Dave, several of you guys have helped build these units where we can take all of the donations we have, and we work on Saturday, when you come out on Saturday. we'll have tables lined up, where you can sort everything out of bags, into sizes, into summer and winter, children, adults, and then we sort them and put them in these bins. So that when Dana or her team go out, or anyone else that goes out there to look for clothing for these ladies, they have an exact spot to go to look. They don't have to look through 50 bags.
Can we make another thing
Yes,
to
please.
post online about the totes?
Yes, we need to see.
Yes, as many as we get our hands on.
Yeah, and we are needing many more totes, as I put this on here, because I want you to know that the ones at Sam's are the cheapest price, and they're the correct size that we need. The ones from Sam's are the ones that we need, are the correct size,
Yes.
and they're the cheapest price that we found. So if you're gonna donate any, just either send the money to us or go buy them. We need lots, we need probably
And share the word.
at least 25 totes.
I was
Right now.
thinking
Just for, well, that's
Right
just
now.
for one of
Just
those
getting
units.
started.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they really do need to be from Sam's.
Hey, did we get
because-
the sorting
Well,
totes?
that- Yeah, because when they're made especially for that size
Yeah, they're made specifically to fit that size.
from
Does
Sam's.
someone have a question? I'm sorry.
Sam's has a 27-gallon or 40-gallon.
27.
27 gallons are the ones that we're doing.
27 gallon, okay.
Hey, but I'll take the 40
What do we
gallons
have
for
next?
choice.
This is our work day. These are the storage containers I was telling you about, 40
That will
feet.
soon be houses.
And these are gonna be the houses that are gonna be transformed into homes, but right now we're storing furniture items in these, and then we have our clothing storage in there also. I'm sorry, I didn't get a picture of that. But we also, at lunch, we take a break, everybody sits down and brings their lunch, we have lots of good food.
And we have a picnic.
And we have a lot.
And it's beautiful.
It's fun.
It's a lot of
It was
work,
enjoyable.
but it's a lot of fun.
It really is, we like
Yeah.
it a lot.
It is, okay, okay,
That's the first time we did it.
okay, then we just had our plant sale, this is another day.
That was
That
so
you
much
can
fun.
do.
That was so
Next year,
fun.
when we have our plant sale, you need to do it, it's fabulous.
And
Those plants
since
are gorgeous.
and we only had a week for people to actually buy everything, and we had over 27 orders, and so if we actually get on the ball and actually do it right next year, where we actually have a month for people to put their orders in,
Growing
it's gonna
pains,
be
okay, we're in growing.
ginormous.
We're in
And then
growing
we
pains.
So, and it was such a blast.
Yes,
Plants
they
are
were,
very,
they
very
were wonderful, they were really, really
Very
nice.
nice. And the thing is, I thought we were gonna have to deliver all of these. Oh, God, we set them up with the orders, and then the people come in and we help them take the orders to the club, and then they get to go home with so much beautifulness.
Oh,
And it was great because they ended up just delivering all the plants and just handed me a check. So with just for the 27 orders, we made over $500.
Good job.
So imagine if we triple that next year, that's $1,500 when we just get together and kind of have a little party, a plant party.
Yeah, we always have a party where we get together.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, it was a lot of fun, it was really quick, everything moved really fast, but we need lots of volunteers to help with this also. This is not just a work day, a volunteer work day, but a fun day, because you get to enjoy the plants while you're helping everybody else.
Next slide.
All right, pay attention, people.
She did it.
That's
I see you. She's hiding.
Quiet people have a lot of creativity. Okay.
No, I'm talking about no volume.
Oh, yeah, volume.
Yeah, but we got copyrighted in that.
We're not gonna get branded for it now. It's just volunteers. We can share copyrighted stuff in privacy. We
Yeah,
just can't
as
do
long
it on
as you're not
Facebook.
selling it, or you're not promoting it, you're not selling it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We need your help. Okay, have you got
We
the
need your
message?
hands and feet.
I hope you got the message. We seriously need your help. We have a handful of people doing all of this, that she mentioned and I mentioned. And we have the same 8, 6, 8 teams
today.
Yeah, and they're
So-
out today for different reasons.
So we need y'all's.
We seriously need your help. Please volunteer. Okay, Glenn. Let's see what's next. Our next birthday, this is the Group Me app. You can go on your store, wherever your app store, wherever you get apps, and get the Group Me app.
And as soon as you pass your background check, for those of you who haven't done it yet, then we will send you your acceptance, email. And then we will automatically put you on the GroupMe app. And so on the next slide, Glenn, so we've changed the setup of our GroupMe, so we actually put, so as soon as you log in and go to the main chat, so you'll see the main chat and then the calendar of events, just under that, that's where we post all of the events to actually give you guys opportunity to come and volunteer. So whether it's clothing closet or inventory workday, or even just the fellowship meals, which we have, which are super fun. Because we typically have, you know, a little music playing, and I'm saying that we have a band there. And so we've got, we do a lot of potlucks and all that other kind of stuff. And then the photos and videos, we've asked that everybody just post all the photos and videos in that to keep it separate from the main thread. And then,
Without chat, just
yeah.
photos, please, as much as possible.
And then the one after that is basically just for those of us who are dealing with donors on a regular basis, so we can keep.
Can I do my silent auction people in that one?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, and you
No,
see-
that's what that's actually
That's what
for.
that's-
You see,
Yeah.
I was so busy talking on here.
So you lose so much stuff.
We're busy people, very busy. Okay.
Well, I rushed through so much that we actually have 20 minutes left before she gets here. Man, I was blowing and going, trying to make sure that we had time.
Does anybody want?
That's all I think.
Yeah, give me some.
All right, so,
You know, I gotta
so now we can just say hi. So Vanya, so raise your hand. So this is Vanya. She's actually come forward to volunteer as well, so she needs to volunteer. Can we give her one? And then this is Amberly. Say hi. And so it looks like if she's willing, she's gonna be helping with some administrative stuff and all that good stuff. And then Victoria, we need to figure out where she's gonna be. And we need to figure out where Vanya's gonna be.
Are we gonna talk about this?
We did that.
Yeah, we did that.
That was the whole where it comes PRL on the.
So, yeah.
Red Robin and the car show. Did you want both of them?
Yeah, so I think, because she's kind of headed up all the admin stuff, so you guys can talk about all the different details and all the different things that you guys can together on. That would be amazing. Perfect. That's amazing. Oh, you ready to go? You're perfect. Let me get my readers, because I'm lost.
Or the black when you have them.
Or were you just trying to set up a new event?
Yeah, for Diane.
Oh, okay. So,
Does that look right?
so you want to title it?
Donation pickup. Or I can put Diane pickup for her.
And then you put the address in there?
Well, I'm gonna put it.
So yeah, you just put the address in, and so just let me know if you have questions about the next thing. I know, she showed me that, I love those.
So I was thinking this one, yeah, so this one combined. That one as well.
perfect. That's perfect.
And then I'm gonna do a selfie.
No,
You what?
There should be 4.
Awesome.
For the guys.
That's exciting.
What do you want to teach us?
Something real quick.
What do you get?
It's for the car show. So,
For like the workers
some,
somewhere?
well, just to actually sell, just to raise money.
Oh, so.
Yeah, to raise money. And so we had a, we
Wait,
keep it
what's
busy.
on there?
Well, for sure, for sure. So the industry logo and the car.
So give her ideas.
Yeah.
it says to measure, have to
Do
measure.
you have Jessica's number?
Yeah.
It's on the
We'll
packet.
share it, yeah. Perfect.
Cause I got the house and I was looking at it. I was trying to get where your survey's office.
Actually, we have it on Facebook, on our website already. Love it, actually, and then share it, that way it gives more, what's that stuff, to share it, but then send those to that, and anybody you see, anybody you know, just give it to them. Yeah, you can make copies, yeah, and just get it done. So
Yeah, what's in it? Yeah, and then you'll probably. But, I mean, yeah, we'll use.
Oh.
They wanna build that whole side of it.
Okay, so we take it as a box. What was the,
I remember seeing about that.
Well,
Yeah, it's
just like I was saying, you know, I mean, even Bailey was helping at the lessons. She's carrying stuff and everything.
I mean, she was the best helper. So, I'm gonna do it for Leonard to choose, because we're putting up as an ambushment and doing her mother. Her mother so we have to look for back for a couple of yeah, yeah. Because it's gonna be Brian, and Dana, Hey, Jessica, do you have Diane's address so fast? I cannot find it. I have two CDs on my phone right now.
If I can find my phone.
Oh, never mind, I got it, I have it. Okay, I did take it.
I need you on the barbecue. I need you on the table. Oh, really?
Hey, Angela, if I don't get by there, do you know that new, it's off of Swanton, and the boulevard, that new gym, that brown strip over by the medical. I don't know the name of it, but it's all glass. That dude, he's involved in so many parking. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, somebody needs to talk to him.
Sorry, I'm sorry. So he's talking about.
Yeah, you want to love it, if you love it, so if you love it, and share it, it gives it more, and just put share.
And we use canned for that.
And then it gives it more, what's that, whatever that word is, then,
So you have, yes, and we know what that means. No, those are two specialized people.
hey, are we doing the, oh, yes.
usually it's half down, but all of our, and, but she said, what you're thinking, and she's,
Okay, so every,
and she was a
every
big,
Saturday, every event is volunteer.
and several,
So we know every first Saturday is Spartans.
Right.
So I'm thinking that
Yeah,
every
when school
Saturday
starts,
is
it's
Saturday.
first, so, it's like,
So let's
it just, we just
Yes, right, no, that's what I'm saying, that's why I was asking what you think.
I'm going to put you on,
Do that, I like this. Did you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So she probably have it.
today was one of your take day.
Right. And that's what Right, but we're not gonna do that, we're not talking July, we're talking June. I think in June, 14th. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the 14th would work for a good work day out there. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
You know, that way we're not overwhelmed with everybody doing properly blood.
We need that, yeah,
We'll let you know. Oh, okay, good deal. Well, he's gonna come out into the mall area and meet you. She's already inside, Brian, thank you. So Brian's gonna come and meet you.
No, we're not talking about that. We can push, we can push it to a different day, or a work day in July. Right, that's what I'm saying, July, we can move that to Saturday in July, if you're not gonna do the closet in July. So we can move the property to, like, the 19th, because our volunteers are 12. Or we can move the volunteers to the 19th and do the property on the 12th. I know, but I'm just saying, just for July.
how did you hear about
But that's what I was thinking.
Who is that? Oh, I didn't see him. I was like, I hear him, but I don't see him. No, it could be any of them.
Yeah, I'm not saying every time, but that's what I'm saying. We're already used to volunteer meetings, the second Saturday every month. I know, but
it took me a minute to get it, cause
So we'll move
it's
to.
about 6:40. But it's, once I compared to everything's here, right, it's 10,000, but,
right, that's how we do it. That's why I'm saying, like, every other. No, it's a good Oh, crap. It's supposed to be 11 now. No, I pushed to 11.
yes.
See, this is why I don't do this.
Yeah, so then things like that too, like sponsorship, you know, college.
And so these are the
That would be
Okay, it's fixed.
So there, I know that they do a lot.
And I can make copies.
See that was that's where it's like a little board area for our yeah, I kind of need your brother and
Well, let me see if I can.
for this meeting,
You want to read it, you want to. Yes, they
I'm gonna come around, I'll meet you on the other side.
As we go.
Wait, what's up? And on Kara, you know, yeah, she's doing all the she'll live Thank you, I appreciate it.
I did see that.
Angela, do you need more of those papers? No? Grab the gavel and just bang it.
I like that guy.
Me too.
Jessica, gavel us.
Say you have to cross it again.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, okay, so when you go into the.
Gives me ideas to kind of stuff works.
So let's get you
And so it's kind of sporadic. Yeah, so, yeah, they do. Why not they
This is for warehouse.
And so
without them having to go.
They actually gave me extra. I got time with the
Mike,
I need to see such, right.
Mike,
More updated, yeah, a more updated one, because I'm trying to, like, because I, I'm trying to remember this person, so. I'm not gonna make it over one day. I'm sorry. I know I'm just, I can't go over. So I can go to the property.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you can check out.
But they have new sections. Items and dates.
where the kids.
Okay, so we have to.
806-278-03.